Guys, I wanted to take a few minutes in this video to talk with you about the evolution of the Glock Gen 5 because this pistol has undergone some changes since it was first released. Before we get started, guys, I would appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel, like this video, leave me a comment down below, and also share the video. It really helps to grow my channel and overcome some of the censorship on YouTube. What I wanted to begin with is first look at the early release of the Glock Gen 5, and there's going to be a few things that you notice about this gun that is a little different from the current version that they have on the market. Of course, I picked this up literally when they first released the Gen 5. As soon as they came onto the market, I went into a friend of mine's gun store and had him to order me one. And there's a few things that I want to show you that are a little different in the models today compared to when they were first released. The first thing that you may notice is, of course, the slide serrations on the front. And just to show you guys, this is a Gen 5. You can see it there on the slide. Okay, it's very clear there on the slide that this is a Gen 5 Glock. Okay, it does not have the front slide serrations the way that the newer release does. You can see here, this is my Glock 45. This is a fairly newer firearm, and it, of course, does have a lot of similarities. You can see here, I mean, the slides are, except for the serrations, they're virtually identical. Of course, I have the excess big dots on both of these guns. Use code BOOMSTICK if you are interested in picking a set of these up. These are my favorite site. And guys, there are a few other changes as well. The way that the grip is made, I want you to notice something on this. You will notice on the grip of my Glock 19, there is this little cutout here, and this is something that early on Glock had on the Gen 5 pistols, and then they removed it because there were some folks that did not like how that felt when they were gripping the gun. Okay, now you can see here on my Glock 45 it does not exist. Both do still have that little bit of a flare, you know, that little bit of a magwell on the bottom of them to help you seat that magazine. Now, the reason that this little cutout was originally put onto the gun, it was intended to help you grip that magazine. Now, most of you all know that the Gen 5 magazines, there is a little bit difference in them as well compared to the previous generations, and that difference is basically this base plate. Now, just to show you from my Glock 19X, the base plate is longer on the Gen 5, okay, compared to the Glock 19X. This is more along the lines of the previous generation Glock base plates for the magazines. And the reason that it was done, or one of the reasons that they extended that, was for the purpose of being able to strip that magazine in the event of having a malfunction. Of course, people did not like that. Glock responded by removing it in a lot of the newer pistols. Now, I will tell you that as far as having that little cutout, if you do any training with your gun, and of course you should regularly train with all of your defensive firearms. If you have a firearm that you use for self-defense, you should be regularly training with it. And what I can tell you, and I'm sure some other folks out there will verify this, and let me know down in the comments below, having to strip a magazine out, especially under stress, if you have had a malfunction such as a double feed, go back and check out some of my videos where I talk about that a little more in detail. Having that little extra opening can help you. Okay, when you're able to get that good grip on that magazine and strip it out of that gun, because if you have a double feed, that's exactly what you will have to do. When you do not have it under stress, it's a little more of a challenge. It can be done, okay? It is not impossible whatsoever, but it is just a little bit more of a challenge of being able to get that magazine and get a good enough grip on it and get it out of that gun, okay? That's something that should be noted, and that was why Glock had originally put that slight cutout right there to where you could grab that magazine much easier, okay? you know, with that extended base plate, with that slight cutout, you can really get in there and get a grip on that mag and strip it from that gun if necessary. Okay, with the newer ones where you do not have that cutout, it is just a bit more of a challenge, okay, if you had to strip that out of there. And guys, if you are one of those folks who says that, well, you know, I don't have to do that, I buy guns that are reliable, that I don't have issues with, then you clearly have not done enough shooting. Because if you train with your firearms, if you take classes, if you are on the range doing training drills, then you will learn what will work and what will not. And trust me, there is not a firearm out there on the planet that will not have a failure. Okay, something will go wrong. Okay, in a situation to where you need to get that magazine out to get that gun reloaded, and it is in a double feed situation, you're going to want something to be able to grab onto that a little easier to get that magazine out. So that is one of the things that I'll have to say that the early release I kind of like. You know, that was designed for a specific purpose, and these guns are for a specific purpose. And that was a little added benefit in my opinion. Let me know yours down below. But of course, guys, the serrations, that little cutout, that's pretty much it. You know, there were a little bit of differences between like the Glock 19X, which we see here. This is basically a Gen 5 Glock. Now, there are a few differences as far as how the grip is made. And you can see you do not have that flare on the Gen 5 Glock, you know, the 19X compared to the 45. In fact, I did an in-depth review and comparison in a previous video, so go check that out on my channel. But this is still essentially a Gen 5 Glock. And you could say an early release, because again, look at the similarities of these slides. They are identical except for the color. Okay, even the markings match on these firearms. The markings, the rear serrations, everything on this matches except for the color on that slide. Okay, the internals are basically the same. You know, just about the only difference is the frame and the color, and then just of course that flare that they put on there, with the exception of how the mag works on this. Now, that's something that I've talked about in previous videos as well. But guys, this is just a quick video that I wanted to do to give some of you all out there a little more information about the Glock 19. I should say the Glock Gen 5s in general. This is my Glock 45. Love this gun. In fact, I love all these guns. These are some of my favorite firearms. Now, if those of you that did not know, it has evolved over time, and that's why I wanted to make this video. But guys, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Did you know this about the Glock Gen 5s? What do you think about that? What do you think about that little opening here on that grip? Do you think that was something that they should have left on the Gen 5s, or are you glad that they closed it off with the newer versions? Let me know down in the comments below, guys. Also, guys, I would appreciate it to check out all of the links down in the description. Those are affiliate links that goes to help support the channel. I'd really appreciate it, guys. As always, thanks for watching. Check out the rest of the videos on my channel, and we'll see you next time.